Doing loving things. Talking. You stand behind an earth pony, another link in the chain, waiting outside Starlight's office. You stroke the wooden box in your pocket, and your palms are slick. You'd will them to dry, but it's too difficult to focus, and you've been like this all morning. The line moves forward a pace, and that's good. At least it's moving. You move forward too, then check your watch. It will be noon soon, and you look behind you. There are another 6 creatures behind you. Strike that. Another stallion walks into the line. 7. Starlight will miss lunch at this rate, and it's no wonder why she's always hungry when she gets home. "Do you even go here?" the griffin behind you says, and you look at him. Starlight told you her students' names. This one was Gallus? You shake your head. "Pfft, figures," he says, and rolls his eyes. "Well, can you step out of the line? The counselor's office is for students only." You squeeze the box, and griffins are confrontational and unconcerned with size or age, but you've waited long enough. You need to do this before you lose your nerve, so you tell him you have business with Starlight. "Look, buddy, these are school hours," Gallus says. "Don't make me get the headmare involved." Heat radiates from your collar. This little parakeet is pushing it. You raise your hand, about to give him a good lecture, when you hear a click. Then you look. Starlight is standing halfway out of the door, and her eyes on a clipboard. "Oh, Wildberry is next?" she says, and looks to the filly at the line's head. Then her eyes snap to you, and she looks worried, and she laughs nervously. She's cute when she does that. Then her eyes soften. "What are you doing here?" Her words are light, and her tone says, "I'm glad to see you." She looks across the line and frowns. Just a sec," she says, then pops away in a flash, and the students mutter to each other. "Oh, great. Now we gotta wait even longer," Gallus says. "Hey, every creature's really busy here. You're messing up our flow." You're about to tell him to shove off, but you hear murmurings of assent from the rest of the line, and you look around. All eyes are on you. "That's it, I'm getting the headmare," Gallus says. And you're about to acquiesce, but then you hear a crack. The line's attention turned forward, and Starlight is standing looking apologetic. Beside her stands Fluttershy, one eye hidden behind her voluminous mane. "I have to step away for a bit," Starlight says. "So Professor Fluttershy will be your substitute guidance counselor until I get back." Fluttershy looks up and flashes a smile, and the students mumble, but none object. Starlight looks at you and motions to join her. You look around and then nod to her. You leave the line and follow her down the hall. And you hear a huff behind you, and you turn to wave to Gallus, and then he grimaces. Her eyes. Starlight tells you about her day as you walk through the empty marble halls. She says her line is always long. In fact, today was relatively light. You're enraptured by her voice, but as you rub your hidden box, your heart rate climbs. You need to find somewhere scenic you can be alone with her. You ask her if you can see the lake, and Starlight rubs her muzzle. "I guess that would be alright, but it's back the other way." You both turn and walk to the way you came, and you look to her, and you smile involuntarily. You're glad your eyes are forward, and you're sure you look silly.
Starlight?"
Twilight's voice startles you both. She walks out of a large double door, and you assume it's her office. She nods to you, then looks up to Starlight.
"I didn't realize you had a guest."
Starlight's ears drooped.
Yeah, I didn't either until a few minutes ago. It's alright to have visitors, but I'm sure you're quite busy.
Starlight glances to you, then refocuses on Twilight.
Fluttershy is covering for me."
Twilight tilts her head and hums. You can sense that she's gonna tell Starlight to return to her duties, and you clutch the box and step forward.
"Yes?"
Twilight says, turning towards you. You swallow, then ask Twilight where she's going, and she seems surprised by her question.
"To lunch."
You look at your watch, then nod. Starlight had gone weeks without a lunch break, you say, and despite that being against EEA regulations, she had done so without complaint, and both mares looked shocked. You continued, and surely you say, Starlight can take a little time today. A guidance counselor needs a break as much as the head mare. Twilight breathes, then straightens.
"Yes, alright."
She smiles at Starlight.
"Enjoy your lunch. I'll see you later."
She nods to you, closes her office door, and leaves. Starlight's eyes follow her, then she looks at you. You puff out your chest, feeling somewhat proud for standing up to your mare friend. Starlight's disbelief sticks.
"What were you thinking?"
Your pride ebbs, and you frown. And you thought you were helping.
"Twilight is my boss."
Starlight says.
"And a princess. Do you have any idea what it means to talk to her like that?"
You're starting to get the idea. Then you lift your hand, ready to apologize, but Starlight presses her nose into your stomach.
"It means you're almost as reckless as I am,"
she says, and she looks up to meet your gaze. and her eyes shimmer, more beautiful than the ocean during sunset, you think.
Come on,
She says and tucks your hand with her magic.
let's go see that lake.
And you follow dutifully. Petting. You and Starlight sit on a bench by the lake's edge. The sound of waterfall is calming and nerve-wracking. Starlight watches the water tail around her hooves and smiles. You suck in air, and you want to ask her. You grasp that box in your pocket but stops when she looks into your eyes, and your courage fails.
Oh, what's wrong?
Starlight asked. You're sure your face was steady and you were too focused on your expression in fact, but she detected your feelings anyway. You're transparent to her. It's one of the many reasons you're with her. You release the box and withdraw your pocket hand, and nothing. You tell her, but she looks unconvinced. And you look down. She places her hoof beneath her chin and lifts, and she locks eyes with you. You know it's inescapable, and Starlight is worried about you. She'll drill you until you admit what's on your mind, and you'll have to distract her. And so you smile. Her expression is unchanged. She continues searching your eyes.
You know you can tell me anything,
She says, and you miss a breath. You nod, then reach out your hand. You tuck your fingers into her mane, then drag them through her ponytail. She stiffens and drops her hoof, and she flushes.
What are you doing?
Starlight asks, and you caress her mane, then drag your fingers across her neck and cup her cheek. She lowers her head and hides her expression, and you slide closer and brush your thumb against her face. She looks up at you, and her eyes are shy.
Wait, stop.
She says, but leans into your touch. She nuzzles your palm and closes her eyes, and you think of yourself lucky to know her. You withdraw your hand and she whines, and she looks disgruntled, but melts when you wrap her into your arms. She's trembling. You trail your fingers up and down her back, and she shivers. You withdraw an inch and look at her. She's staring up at you too. You lean in towards her lips, movements deliberate and slow. She leans in too. You both jump, and Starlight separates from you, ears back and eyes on the school. The doors swing open and the students swell the grounds. Many are holding paper bags and trays, and they settle in groups on the grass along the lake edge. You look at your watch. 12:15, lunchtime. You look at Starlight and she's facing away, but you can see her cheeks. They are red. You both sit in silence while the school buzzes around you. Compliments. And in silence, you and Starlight walk the halls. You feel like you've been kicked in the gut. You've missed your chance. I mean, sure, you can ask tonight when she returns home, or tomorrow, or a week from now, but you suspect that you'll be as unconfident then as you are now. You came to her workplace today because you'd convinced yourself the time was right. You turn the pocketed box in your miserable fingers, and you look at Starlight, and her gait drags. The red in her cheeks had receded, but you preferred embarrassment to melancholy. You decide regret can wait. Your mare friend's feelings matter more. You both enter Starlight's office, and the line is gone. You assume the students are at lunch, and Starlight slumps behind her desk and rests her head. You sit on the couch.
I'm in so much trouble if any pony saw us,
Starlight says, and she mimics Twilight's voice and says,
You know we don't condone that kind of behavior during school hours, either from students or faculty.
She groans.
I'm the worst guidance counselor in history.
You remain silent. You're sure that's untrue. You went to human schools, where guidance counselors are middling bureaucrats who sign detention slips. Seeing Starlight like this is a weight in your chest. You tell her that you're sure no one saw you.
We'll figure that out when Twilight gets back,
Starlight says. Her head remains glued to her desk. You look at your feet. You suspect something to Starlight's job was a bad idea. Another in a long line. So you stand. Starlight lifts her head, but you avoid her eyes. And you tell her that you'll see her at home. Turn, and walk towards the door.
Wait.
Your body freezes, and you look down. Starlight's aura surrounds you, and you're lifted into the air, floated through the room, and land on the sofa. The Starlight met your eyes.
You don't have to go,
She says.
I mean, we have time now anyway.
She smiles. You hesitate, then pat the couch. So Starlight nods, then teleports beside you. You wrap your arm around her, and she rests against you. You stroke her side, and she nuzzles your face. You tell her that she is beautiful. Your words are easy. They escape without thought, and Starlight sighs. Rising with a warm tide in your chest is a niggling. Adrenaline. You squeeze your pant leg. It's time. Love. You withdraw the wooden box, but keep it hidden beside your leg. Starlight shifts, but seems unalerted. Centipedes scurry behind your ribcage. You steady your breathing and curl your fingers through her tail. She chuckles, and you squeeze the box.
I was worried.
Starlight says, and you paused. Then she continued.
When I saw you, I thought it was something serious.
She pushes her nose to your ear, and she kisses it. You hide the box beneath your palm and ask her what she means. Starlight shakes her head.
You rarely visit here. When I saw you, I thought this is the last thing I need today.
You chuckle nervously, and your courage is a crumbling foundation. Starlight puts her hoof on your leg, and her eyes are lidded.
I should have known better. You've never really been a burden.
You slip the box into your pocket and smile. Starlight tilts her head.
But why did you come today?
You choke on your words, lying to her even a white lie is like bile. Starlight frowns.
What?
You stutter disconnected sentences. Her eyes narrow. Your heart is a drum solo. You say the first true sentence that comes to your mind, and you say, I love you. Starlight blinks. She opens and closes her mouth. She looks away, then returns to you. She leans forward and kisses your lips, your body firm, but she weaves your tension. Her touch, her breath. You relax, and when her kiss breaks, you're calm. She stares into you. You trace your hand up to her side and you withdraw the box. She looks at it and gasps. It's varnished oak, and atop it is engraved a kite. Marriage. You both stare at the box, and you look at Starlight, and she's red again. You stroke her back. You had a speech prepared, and you thought it over for weeks. It changed daily, and you refined it, abandoned it, recovered it, and perfected it. And now, you've forgotten it. These have always stripped the superficial. It's you and your mare. Simplicity suits you. You're brilliloquent. You lift the box, and her eyes follow it. You press your thumb to the lid, and it slides forward. A single golden ring rests atop a bed of shredded paper. And Starlight pushes away, tears gathering at her lids.
No,
She whispers, and your chest drops. Your hand trembles. You will it still, then lower the box. Starlight looks at you, disbelief stretched across her face. She blinks, then her eyes widen.
No!
She repeats, and you nod and push the top close. Her aura wraps her hand, and you look to her again. Tears stream down her face, and she shakes her head and chokes a laugh. Then she returns your hoof to your lap.
No, I didn't mean no,
She says. And Starlight lifts your hand. She opens the lid and takes the ring, and you see the words engraved in the band. She seems unaware, and you hope they remain hidden. They're foolish. This venture was foolish. And Starlight stares at it, and she's smiling, crying still. Your pulse speeds, and you dare a hope. She directs her smile towards you. The ring turns, shimmers, and slides down her horn, and she presses against you.
My answer,
She says, voice trembling.
is yes.
You put down the box and look at her, and you smile. It grows into a grin, and it's unstoppable. You throw your arms around her, and she brushes her nose against your ear, and then against your neck. You pull from her and look into her eyes. Your living dream. Those are the words inscribed in her band. Later, she'll see them. You press your lips against her horn, and she twitches. She's so cute when she does that.